BossTop. Some people are saying BossTop is home because he updated his profile photo. There is also an interview that was dropped with him that he done with Cam Capone News. In that interview, he talked about moving to the O. They asked him some questions about Odeee because there is not that many information about Odeee when you type him in on the internet, because Kyra comes up, the one who smoked Odeee. They named the block in respect of Odeee. It was originally Wick City. That's why King Von has on his Twitter King Von from the Wick and King Von from the O on his IG. These were not rap names. These were original names from the stuff and the hood that King Von grew up in. They gave us their whole lives and we all watched them sacrifice O Block, 63rd, all of it. They used their trauma and the stuff that they've been through, knowing it would have more upon them where they are now. So BossTop in this interview, people are saying that he was very nervous and wasn't acting right. What was going on is he was very aware of the questions that they were going to ask him. Interviewer said to him, so you moved to O Block when you was 9, and he was like, how did you know that? How did you know that? Like, I didn't tell you that. How did you know that? And then the guy's like, well, we did research. And then he put his hands on his head, right? Like, he remembered the things that's online about them, the research. So that's why he put his hand on his head. Then his body language changed. The signal was a worrying signal. Like, he remembered, oh, the research, all the stuff that's online. Now he was preparing himself for the next question, nervous about other question and what it's going to be about. That's why he turned around and said, so what is the next question then? Now I want to know. Ask him about Odeee, because him and Odeee was really close, and his words about Odeee was everything. He said Odeee wasn't scared of anything. He meant everything to the O, and people in the O showed him a lot of respect. That's why O Block now has the name. Actually, O Block is nothing more than Odeee. It didn't look like he knew the questions they were gonna ask him, so he was trying not to slip up. BossTop know the police and all of it is watching, and he has to be very careful to what he's saying when it comes to these type of interviews. He was waiting for them to ask a question that possibly could incriminate him. He don't know if they will ask him a specific question that will then make him slip up and say something wrong, and that's what he was aware of. He was very aware. And he also didn't like when this guy told him that, so you grew up in O Block at 9, or you moved to O Block at 9. He didn't like that at all. Made him very paranoid in that moment, to where his body language changed. This is why they shouldn't be doing interviews when you're in this kind of stuff. You shouldn't be in the media. It's either you in the streets or you not. It's either you pick a side. You can't be on the internet and then a real life street gangster. It doesn't work. It's just not going to work. They are making themselves hot and putting the police on themselves. That's why when it comes to DJ Vlad, people had a problem with DJ Vlad when it comes to certain questions that he asked people, these specific questions. That's why when DJ Vlad does an interview, feds are most likely checking it out. They can ask you a question to do with something else that relates to something else, and that could make you go down. There are so many different ways you can tell on yourself in interviews. But get this, do not forget, the same people who were doing all the stuff on the internet back then and saying all this stuff is some of the people who are still here today, still doing the same thing. All the and all the stuff that was made on social media back then wasn't taken serious by anyone. Even though the murder rate was really high, that wasn't taken serious, right? What I am left to think is that an experiment was carried out on those boys in Chicago. I'm telling you, the way those boys, the way they act, the stuff that they say on the media, all the stuff, an experiment was carried out, and they were programmed to diss each other and do all this stuff for views, because they were promoting it back then and they were getting views on it back then, the drama and all this stuff, right? So there is someone else, and just like they showed you in Squid Games, I have my own opinion on Squid Games. Squid Games, I will be making a whole breakdown on Squid Games, and Dirk and Varnen, they said, you know, they started in 2008 and all that. We are going to get into this video, but in Squid Game, just like they showed you in that part where guys was wearing the mask, it is a symbol. It represents the higher ups. It represents the people that are watching the stuff go on that we would never see, that we would never ever see. We would never know these people. That's why they were wearing the mask. And notice how they were watching the stuff live as well. They were all watching it live play out. To me, it symbolizes the media and the people that are letting this stuff happen for their profit, like they showed you with the Facebook debacle the other day, where they came out and said that Facebook is actually putting their profit before people. They are promoting certain things on purpose, and now Facebook is about to go change their name. Someone is watching you from the higher up. They were programmed to diss each other on the internet, do all the stuff right, and kill each other while they watched promoting the stuff back then. And now as Odeee has blown up on a bigger scale, they are now trying to do something about it publicly to cover up tracks, and they are covering up on all of it. This email I keep showing you guys, it's by one of the hackers, and someone went through it to see if they can find any information on FBG Duck, that situation, and they found a specific email where they were telling them, for if they ask you about the FBG Duck situation, what to say. Why were they doing that? If they had nothing to hide, this wouldn't have happened. That email wouldn't have existed if they didn't have anything to hide. They let those boys get away with all those stuff. They used those boys to sacrifice Odeee. We are now watching Odeee and stuff, and we, the fans and the people who are invested in this stuff, is paying a price as well. We are invested in it with our feelings. We are here because we are invested in those boys. I am invested in those boys. I am invested in all the people that has died, all them dead people, the gangs, everything, Gyro City, all the stuff, Wick City. I am invested in it. Dirk and Van, something is wrong. It doesn't add up. I'm watching little Vineyard, the muscle, right? Watching his videos and stuff, I was able to walk around and laughing and doing all the stuff and the dissing and all of it, and you know, the guns and everything, and then performing with little Dirk and stuff on stage. Back then, all this stuff. Now this guy is in a wheelchair. Then you had Mubu Kram do a video mocking him in the wheelchair. They have seen that they have promoted. Like this video so other people can hear this information, and as they say, it could go for YouTube algorithm. I still think, to be honest with you, if they don't want the video seen and they already listened to it and they don't want you guys to hear it, they won't let you hear it. So me telling you, like the video, do this stuff, do that stuff, I mean, it does the basic, put it that way. But this is why you guys need to like, subscribe and share the video. An experiment was done on these boys in Chicago.